All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Valheim. So I know that the other day I just put out a news video. That news was related to the prior week, and today's news is related to this week. So over the weekend, there's kind of a little secret live stream that's going on.
This is the
Twitch meeting.
Yes, this is the secret place you can come and look at and talk to devs.
The stream is put on by Grimcore, who happens to be the lead artist in Ironsgate. But then there's also Smiffle. I'm probably pronouncing that badly, and I'm sorry. He's a consultant for Ironsgate. Currently, I think he's doing QA and then other related things, like PR-related things. And then on this week's stream, there was also Devoid, who is Richard, and I'm sorry if I'm blanking on the last name, but he's the co-founder of Ironsgate. There's two streams, actually. There was one on Saturday, and typically they're done on Saturday. And then there was a secret one that was done on Sunday and I wasn't aware of. So these streams are mainly focused on graphics. But during the stream, they also do a little bit of Q&A. At least on Saturday's stream, they did. On Sunday's stream, they were not taking any questions. And I was lucky enough to be able to rattle off several questions and get some answers on them. So I'm happy to share them with you guys. Before we get into that, the first change was there was a slight change to the roadmap, and I didn't really realize it. That happened last week. So if we compare the roadmaps side by side, there's some minor changes to the titles of things. Like Hearth and Home is now Hearth and Home Improvements. Cult of the Wolf remained the same. The Ships and Seas is now Ship-Worthy Seas, and even more ships. There is a change to Update 4, which is now not just New Biomes Mistlands, it's Voyage to Mistlands. And on the bottom, in the If Odin Wills It area, there was a couple changes that were made. Moonion is now Moonion Raven of Lore. And then this special celebrity guest, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Ginglier? I don't know. Maybe that's probably a horrible pronunciation. So just to be aware that there were some minor changes that were made to the roadmap. And of course, the roadmap is future. There's not even a date on any of these updates and when they plan on having them out. So who knows when any of this is going to happen. Now, if you want to see the fan art that was highlighted in that live stream on Saturday, you can go to the link in the description and watch the live stream, and they'll show you all the stuff. They showed a lot of OG stuff, and then they showed a bunch of other fan art-related items from various people. Graham also talked about the things that they had done last week and what they'd worked on, and so here I'll give you a listen about that.
Just wondering, did we miss to say something what happened this week? Did we actually go through everything? Like, last week, did we even... Okay, so we had the Discord problem 2 weeks ago, and that's sorted. I mean, that's not a big issue anyway. Smith started working as a consultant for us, which is nice.
Lisa pushed an updated version with more flavor text and added Gagnir to the roadmap on Twitter. So you have to go on Twitter to find it.
We have some updates coming, updates like talking about things next week, probably. But yeah, did anything else happen this week? We didn't talk about getting another million, so we're not talking about it.
Yeah. And let's see, what else didn't happen this week? Oh, we didn't throw a patch this week.
Oh, we didn't throw out a patch this week. That's true.
No, there wasn't any like updates or patches this week.
Yeah, because it's pretty stable right now.
Well, to address a bunch of the questions from chat, yeah, we know there's a bunch of bugs, there's a bunch of things that break stuff. We can't. I mean, that's basically what I'm also hiring to do, break stuff, so we can find out why stuff breaks and fix those breaks. But I mean, there's the worst one is gone. The worst of few is gone.
Yeah.
But the hardest one is still around. But I mean, I think like the tombstones where they keep disappearing. I think we fixed all those.
Maybe.
Well,
We
maybe.
have to with a disclaimer say maybe.
Oh yeah. I'm just waiting for people to, uh,
We can't really go out and
like,
say that just
yeah,
yet. We need to see if that.
yeah. Well, we tried. We think we fixed it.
Yeah.
But let's focus on the questions that I had.
So, quite a few from OneLastMidnight.
Yeah, he has a
First
lot
of
of
all,
questions.
There was a moderator that was fielding the questions, and unfortunately, he kind of paraphrased my questions instead of asking them directly. But I'm going to give you the question the way that I asked it. The first question was, are you guys thinking about changing the current ore progression? When you get into the later phases of the game, it's very grindy. Are you thinking about rebalancing, or are you going to just keep it the same?
We're doing a lot of thinking, but I don't think we will be changing it. Like, what is the most difficult? You mean it's like tedious getting ore?
I think, especially with that I saw other people saying today, bronze is typically the grindiest one to get. I think because it takes 2 ores to make one.
Isn't it three plus one? Or is it 2 plus 1?
It's a 2-in-1 ratio. Yeah, two copper, 1 tin.
Well, you don't have to get level 4 of everything in bronze if you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
I switched directly to troll armor, and I'm still wearing it now.
I mean, it's going to be some. Okay, so we're getting a lot of different feedback as well because some people are saying it's nice as it is. Some people wants it more grindier. Some people wants it more not so grindy, I guess. So my immediate answer would be probably not changing it too much. I mean, we're probably not going to change it at all.
But yeah, I don't think it will be changing because it's still it's. I mean, you learn how that you have to dedicate time to get the things, and then you're gonna hit iron, and that also, like you do the copper grind, and then the iron grind. So it's like you learn how to do it.
I wouldn't even call it a grind. I mean, it's so individual that it's. I understand you feel it's grindy. I get it. I don't think we'll be changing it that much at all, to be honest.
And then a follow-up question was, how about for allowing of transporting at least smelted bars or possibly some advanced portal that allows you to transport ore?
We had a lot of discussion with that in the beta, but I mean, the thing is, either you make a super base in one biome, you find one biome you like, you make a super base with everything, and then you just make 25 teleporters, go everywhere, and just go grab stuff everywhere. Or, well, that's one way to do it. But then either you transport things with ships, with carts, and things, or you make a small base somewhere where you do all the things you need, and then you progress by building small things in different places. So you don't have to transport everything to your super base. And that's the thing people don't realize, that you can do multiple bases. Like you have a village here, and you have a village there.
I think they do realize it. I think it's the whole thing about building another outpost and thing. I don't see us making things more easier. It's not something that's high on our priority table right now.
Grim accidentally showed his desktop, and on the desktop was his art folder, and in there was a picture of Odin. So I asked if he would actually show the picture of Odin, and here was his response.
An image of Odin? Probably not. Probably would not want to show that.
So next question.
I quite like that one though.
That's probably just. All right. Okay. I think I know which image you're talking about, and in that case, no. It's personal work. It hasn't got anything to do with Valheim to do at all.
The next question I asked during the stream was, what is your current development focus right now? And they really didn't answer that question because I never heard a response to it. I also asked what work is currently being done on the multiplayer desync issue. With 6 players or more, the experience is very bad.
You can go into more
Well,
detail.
it's. I think we established that usually it's one person's bad connection can affect everyone else around that person in like a zone, because the first person to be in a zone is the owner of everything in a zone, and that's one of the issues. But there's not the issue is not 6 people. The issue is all usually one bad connection.
Me,
I-
for example.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
if I play with you from Australia, it's gonna be like interesting. But I mean, I think the biggest I saw was a modded server, 48 players, all from the same university, and they were fine. I mean, 48 people, same like block, living block, fine in a modded server.
And also, these are things that I actually can't answer, as I'm just the artist. But I know that it's got a lot to do with people's own internet connections, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this is very unofficial, but I think some people had some issues with some different routers as well. With really bad routers are making things horrible for us.
Yeah, the usual thing is router connections. Which country, what country's infrastructure? Are you on DSL? Are you on cable? Are you on Wi-Fi? I mean, I think I asked Devoid, and he said the game was meant for people with a normal connection with 0.5 megabytes per second.
But then yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
but I mean, currently, we did do something. I'm saying we. Richard did something to the. So he's. What was it? He is. I'm not. I don't think I can answer that. I don't think any of us can answer that properly. With we're not technical enough to answer that. To be honest.
My next 2 questions were related, and they're about allowing for things to be placed on the item stand. So, will you allow everything to be placed on the item stand? Love decorating. As an example, I'd like to see carrots on my table or iron bars around my forge. And then, will there be armor stands? You know, I'd like to have my armor progression be able to be displayed in my house.
All right. Yeah. I mean that's not entirely impossible. It's not impossible at all, to be honest. I know we have talked about armor stands before. It's a bit technical to do it. I think we are able to do it. I just think it might just take a lot of time. I'm not sure, and if we even want it or not. But if can't promise anything, but I'm saying there is a possibility that we could do it in the future sometime, but it's not on a high priority list at the moment.
And then the final question I asked was about the Odin's gear that was given out to the beta testers as a gift. And I asked if it was ever going to be available again.
We're not planning on giving. That was a gift for all the people who helped us out during beta.
And I kind of understood that. You know, I knew that it was a gift that was given out to beta testers. I was hoping that, you know, maybe later down the road that this is something that they would add for DLC. But I totally get it. You know, these guys helped them out when they were first developing the game, so give them something special. I hope that in the future that they do add some, you know, special sets, whether it's from a paid DLC or, you know, whether you earn it with some sort of achievements or finding some sort of hidden items in the game. Like, they already have hidden chests. Wouldn't it be cool if you found this hidden set of armor somewhere in their world? And they can make that a very challenging scavenger hunt concept. Sunday's live stream was more of just a hangout. Devoid happened to join in about halfway through the stream. And there were some things that came out, which is kind of interesting. So one of the things that Devoid is currently working on is reworking the harpoon mechanics. They also talked about the current defect in the game with the iron gates, that if you stack iron gates on top of each other, you can build really high. And ultimately what's happening there is that you're not building really high. It doesn't allow you to build really high. It just, the update is very slow. So ultimately, you're only going to be able to build until it gets to the red, and then everything above that is going to eventually fall. But the update takes a long time to happen, so it winds up staying in the world for a while before it actually collapses. Grim was talking about a mistake that's made on the loading screen, which I never saw it. So he said that on the loading screen, one of the characters actually has 6 fingers instead of 5, and people were giving him a hard time about that. There was some talk about animals being added into the game, more animals and the type of animals. And then finally, you know, at the end, and I don't know if this is going to happen or not because it was kind of said jokingly, but it seems like Devoid will be joining these live streams more often, which that would be great, especially if we could get some Q&A going on. You know, currently this is more of just hanging out and chatting with the devs, and then they're answering, you know, the sporadic questions that are coming in. But I would like to see this be a little bit more structured, something that's a little bit more streamlined and, you know, really focuses on some of the burning questions that the community has, some of the defects that we're seeing that we would like to get resolved, and then possibly, you know, what their plan is for the rest of the week or month or however long they want to push that out. They did say that there was a patch that was coming out this week. Not too sure when. I'm not even sure if it's going to happen or not. But there was a comment that was made that they're expecting to release a patch this week. But then that's it. That wraps up the whole weekend news. And I'm caught up with all the Valheim news, and I can go back to making cool stuff like, you know, buildings and stuff like that. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. And make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.